Hello, I'm Philip Duncan from Weather Watch TV on YouTube with a special update on Super Typhoon Dolphin, which has rapidly intensified over the last day or so in the Western Pacific. So here is the satellite imagery. We'll show you a more zoomed out version in a moment to get your bearings, but this is over in the Northern Hemisphere out at sea. Look at this. In the past 36 hours, it grew from the equivalent of a Category 1 hurricane to the maximum Category 5, and it's going to get more powerful as it moves westwards over warmer waters and towards places like Japan, Taiwan, and mainland China. So here are the current stats on the storm. Maximum significant wave height, 13 meters or 42 feet. That is pretty big, and it's getting bigger over the next 48 hours. The winds are sustained at 268 kilometers an hour and gusting to 324 kilometers an hour. So to get your bearings, Australia is here. We've got the Philippines, and behind the screen here we've got Japan. So we'll show you that a little bit more clearly in a moment. Here is the latest tracking from the Joint Typhoon Warning Centre. This is showing where it is expected to be up until Monday of next week. Doesn't go beyond that, but I'll show you that shortly. So you can see Japan here off into the left-hand side of the screen. The storm gets stronger as it moves westwards. The circles expand out. That means that the damaging winds grow larger as the whole storm system moves westwards. Now, the good news is it is moving away from places like Guam. They were just recently hit by a super typhoon, so it's going further northwards there. But it poses a risk to Japan, and as I mentioned, to China and to Taiwan. So here is the rainfall. This is the 10-day rainfall. The area here in the blue, that is the tracking of Super Typhoon Dolphin. So rainfall intensity in there could be over half a metre of rain, over 500 millimetres of rain. And rainfall picks up a wee bit in southern parts of Japan, with the storm itself tracking over the Japanese islands further southwards and potentially affecting both Taiwan and China as it moves on through. Even the Philippines may get some rain from this system once it kind of moves further westwards. So here is the sea surface temperature map. This is the anomaly map showing how much warmer or cooler it is compared to what it usually is at this time of the year. So the typhoon is in a warm body of water. The scale is here. So we're going into the red, which is sort of 1 to 2 degrees above normal, but the yellow shaded areas, they are up to 3 degrees warmer than usual. That fuels typhoons, makes them stronger. So this storm out at sea, no land to affect it, and moving over warmer than usual waters, which will help keep the storm very powerful as it moves northwest or westerly over the coming week. So let's now track the intensity of Super Typhoon Dolphin, which is an interesting name, certainly memorable. 949 hectopascals is where it'll be today, lunchtime today where I am in New Zealand, 9 o'clock in the morning if you're in Japan. So pretty powerful at 949. But look what happens 24 hours later, going into Saturday, down to 924, might go lower than that as the storm gets larger in size and more intense at the center. Look at the winds here, averaging 287 kilometers an hour and gusting over 350 kilometers an hour out at sea, all on its own, no land to interact with, no land to make those winds break apart or get stronger. That is just simply the raw power of this storm while it's offshore. Zooming out so you get your bearings a bit more, with Japan up here to the northwest, China, Taiwan due to the west. The storm, it says 954, it's actually down more around 930. It's just when you zoom out, the numbers aren't quite so accurate, but you get the idea of where it's placed, and it is heading towards these populated parts of Asia. So as we look at the Super Typhoon animation here, this goes from where we are Monday. So this is the track between now and where we go to Monday. Then I'll animate it, and this is where it goes beyond that. The timestamp is here with New Zealand time. So take away 3 hours to work out Japan. You can see it here coming in over the islands around Japan and then brushing Taiwan, moving directly in to China, but the wind and the rain coming down into parts of the Philippines and even affecting some further, more populated parts of Japan further to the north. So it is a very large system here 10 days from now, covering most of China, a large part of China affected by this low pressure zone as it starts to move on in. And yes, a follow-up storm behind it. You often do see another storm following behind a super typhoon. They usually do something quite different, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. But for now, that one isn't the concern. It's all about this one here. So just a reminder where typhoons form, it is west of the international dateline in the northern hemisphere, so it remains a typhoon as it goes through in towards China itself. So that is all from me on Super Typhoon Dolphin. I'll probably have another update again next week as the storm moves closer to more populated areas. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time here at Weather Watch TV on YouTube.